Welcome to India Today's SoSouth. I am Mahesh Chitnis. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is facing one of the toughest political tests in his career as the opposition has accused him in the Mysuru Urban Development Authority land allotment case. The governor has already approved to prosecute the Chief Minister in this particular case. Meanwhile, Siddaramaiah has approached the Karnataka High Court challenging the governor's consent to investigate him. Already, senior counsel from both sides have argued in the case. The matter might come up for further hearing on Monday, that is on September 2. To discuss this case and more, I am joined in by senior journalist and political analyst Ramkrishna Upadhyay. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking with me. Sir, before we go into the legal aspects of the case, CM Siddaramaiah finds himself in a tough spot and pressure is mounting on him. How do you see this?
Well, Mahesh, this MUDA case, which has been brewing for the last 2 months, has reached a very decisive stage, I must say, because the court proceedings have begun in the Karnataka High Court, where we had 2 interesting sessions already. One where Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, the eminent lawyer, Supreme Court lawyer, arguing on behalf of Mr. Siddaramaiah. And then we had Solicitor General, Mr. Tushar Mehta, arguing on behalf of the governor. So there's been long arguments on this. Of course, there are also other advocates appearing for the other applicants who have made the application before the governor. What has emerged so far is that, Mr. Siddaramaiah finds himself in a very, very tricky situation. So his contention so far has been that, this decision was taken by the BJP government and he was not the chief minister when these sites were allotted to his wife. So he has played no role at all in the allotment of these 14 alternate sites which have been given to his wife. So this has been his contention. He says, look, this was a policy of the BJP government and they gave it. MUDA was in their hands and they have provided all this. And I had nothing to do with this. But the fact of the matter is there is a lot of things that have come out of late, which shows that, he's not above board in the whole case. So let us start with, what Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi's argument was.
Yeah.
See, he went on saying that, the decision was taken by the governor in a hurry. The day Mr. Abraham made the application, he dashed off a show cause notice to the Siddaramaiah government saying that, why not we take action on this? So that is one point he made. And then he said there was no application of mine. The governor did not make any application of mine. And he just went about, as soon as the complaint came, he just wanted the chief minister to answer that. And then he also said that the governor was biased against the chief minister. And, there have been many other cases against, other opposition leaders, including Mr. Kumaraswamy, and then 3 former BJP ministers. On that, he has not taken any decision, whereas in Siddaramaiah's case, he has immediately acted. And then he also maintained that a decision made by the cabinet asking him to reject this application, should have been considered. This is his stand. So this has been, he argued for about 2.5 hours. That was, I think, on the 19th or 20th of August. And it was a very fascinating, argument to listen. And then yesterday, Mr. Tushar Mehta came along, and then each and every point which Mr. Manu Singhvi raised, he rebutted. I mean, he had a very convincing argument. Of course, it is for the judge to take a view on, what each party is saying. I mean, the final order will come from him. That is Justice Nagaprasad. So, so what Tushar Mehta said was, he said it was not done in a hurry at all. In fact, the governor, not only took the complaints very seriously, he read all of them, and then he had a series of discussions with the legal minds, and then he asked them to make notes of the complaints made, and then what the government's reaction to it, and then on the right-hand side, he himself made notes. So on this, and he discussed all of them again with his officers, and then only he took a decision. So, this, he says there was a, very detailed application of mine. And this is the stand he was taken by them. And then, he also said that, on the question of, the recommendation by the cabinet, he said, look, this cabinet is under the Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah. Of course, he may not have attended the cabinet meeting that day, but he did authorize Mr. D.K. Shivkumar to hold the meeting. So, so the authority to hold the meeting came from Siddaramaiah, and all these ministers are appointees of Mr. Siddaramaiah. On his recommendation, these people are appointed. So how can you say that they're all independent people and they're giving independent opinion to the governor? So this is the stand he took about, the cabinet decision and justifying why the governor was, authorized to reject it. And then, he also made a case about the petitioners. See, there has been some talk about the petitioners should have first gone to a magistrate court and obtained an approval for their thing before approaching the governor. This was also very clearly demolished by not only Mr. SoSouth, but also Navadgi and other advocates who appear for other petitioners. And they all said, look, you can make a representation directly to the governor, and it is for the governor to take action on that. There is no need for an FIR to be filed or to approach the magistrate to get the approval before approaching the governor. So, these were the points, various points that were made in the argument. And then we'll have to see, how the whole thing goes.
So also arguments mainly also revolved around, 17A of the Prevention of Corruption Act and 218 of the BNSS. Last time also during our discussion, there was a lot of confusion, whether 218, the sanction has been, which is the, provision for, prosecution, whether considered or not. So how do you see the, both the counsels argued in the court regarding these two provisions?
You see, the governor in his order makes it very clear that, he has given a sanction for the investigation under Section 17A of the Prevention of Corruption Act. He has not invoked so far Section 19. Section 19 is the one which deals with prosecution. So the prosecution comes much later. So the prayer now before the governor is, please give us permission to go ahead with the investigation. So that's a very crucial point. So, in fact, the Solicitor General maintained, also the judge also said that in 2018, this provision was included. It was not there earlier. So, getting the 17A was included at that time. So, and they also noted that, the powers of the court to deal with such cases. Because in the 5-judge case, the Supreme Court very clearly held that the Chief Minister, he can be held accountable for the actions that have been taken. And in fact, in the judgment, Mr. Tushar Mehta read out, he said if there are irregularities are allowed to be considered, and then it can lead to chaos. I mean, if the people in power cannot be questioned, it can lead to chaos. So, there is a sufficient argument for allowing the investigation to take place. Now, the petitioners are trying to convince the court that give us, an order, supporting the investigation. Let the investigation happen, independent investigation, not the one with the Chief Minister's order. So they also, Manu Singh said, the Chief Minister has been very prompt in ordering a commission of inquiry, and he's already set up a commission of inquiry. But the opponents wanted, look, he has been appointed by the Chief Minister. He will be giving his report to the Chief Minister, and it is for him to either accept or reject it. So what kind of an investigation is that? How fair can it be? So that's the reason why we want an independent investigation to be conducted by the Lokayukta on the orders of the governor. So this is why we have approached the court. So that is where the matter stands now. And of course, the Monday, I think there will be more arguments on these issues.
So also, in this case, if the court order comes against CM Siddaramaiah, do you think the party high command, the Congress, will be forced to change its stand, or it might continue to back him? How do you see this?
Well, the High Command, I think, is in a dilemma. They want to back Mr. Siddaramaiah, and they think he's the best bet as far as the Karnataka is concerned. They know without him, the Congress government will not be stable. So that's the reason why they have strongly stood by him so far. But if the governor's order for even investigation comes in favor of the governor, then I think things could change very, very rapidly. Because that time, then the opposition will mount pressure on Chief Minister Siddaramaiah to step down until the investigation is over. Now, if you continue as Chief Minister, what kind of investigation is possible? You can always influence the investigation. So that is one of the, I think, the highlights of this the debate so far. And I know you can make out that the Chief Minister is nervous, and he has gone to Chamundeshwari. I mean, being an atheist once, and I think today or tomorrow is again going to Chamundeshwari to pray to her to somehow save his chair. So, which is very, very unusual for Mr. Siddaramaiah.
So you're saying these.
One more point I want to make. Yeah, one more point I want to make is, you see, he has been maintaining that he had no role at all, in the allotment of sites. But I happened to get hold of the minutes of the meeting of the MUDA. MUDA meeting proceedings copy in page number 534. It very clearly mentions that Ms. Parvati made an application. It says the petitioner, Ms. Parvati, was informed that she would be compensated with the market rate for the land or be given a plot at 40-60 ratio. However, she did not agree with the suggestion by the authority and insisted on being given an alternative plot. So this was a letter written by Ms. Parvati to MUDA. And when was this written? This letter was written to MUDA on 23 March 2014, demanding alternate site. When did Mr. Siddaramaiah was Chief Minister? The first term, he became the Chief Minister on 13th May 2013. So he was very much the Chief Minister of the state when his wife made this application to MUDA. And he has been all along claiming that he had no role at all in this. So it's a very clinching, piece of document which has now surfaced. So I think when this issue comes up in the Supreme Court, probably the investigation will follow.
So also, do you think Congress can afford to ask Siddaramaiah's resignation given his stature and the support he enjoys among the MLAs?
Well, once the governor gives, if at all, the governor gives his permission to take up the investigation of Chief Minister, it becomes very difficult for him to continue in power. Of course, we have the, he need not resign. The Constitution doesn't say that just because an investigation has been started, the Chief Minister has to resign. Because we already have a classic case of the Delhi Chief Minister, Mr. Kejriwal, who is lording over Delhi from Tihar. Let's see how things pan out. But I have a feeling that, in a big state like Karnataka, it's not going to be easy, especially when you have a very strong opposition of BJP and JDS, that, they will make it very difficult for the Chief Minister to function, if he continues for long. And, so this High Command might be, forced to take Mr. Siddaramaiah's resignation and appoint somebody else in his place. So there's already competition. I know people are getting ready to replace Mr. Siddaramaiah.
Yeah.
And there
Not
are
only
reports.
DK Shivakumar, there are several people like Parmeshwar now. Just now, R.V. Deshpande is also, the threw his right in the ring.
Yes, there will be a lot of, then of course there is a talk of Mr. Kharge himself, becoming a candidate because he has missed it out twice, and he's the senior most leader in the Congress party, and he also has ambition to become the Chief Minister. So there is talk that he, after this next round of elections, ending with Maharashtra, that he is going to be replaced by somebody from North India, to give it a North Indian face to the Congress. So he might be, ready to take up the chief minister's post. Why not? I mean, he has been the longest serving politician in the Congress party. So, he will put his hat in the ring.
Definitely.
And he also is in a position to pick that hat. So I'm being the Congress president. So.
Yeah. So whatever the court order is, one thing that is for sure that there will be a lot of political developments, as the Congress now has already announced that if the court order goes against the CM, they are planning to take a delegation to meet president, claiming that governor acted hastily against the CM. So more developments politically are expected, sir. How do you see this?
Well, I think the Congress needs to do its homework properly, first of all, before taking a delegation to the president or whatever. Look what happened yesterday when they went and met the governor, saying that, look, you have been given permission to prosecute Mr. Siddaramaiah in a hurried manner, whereas there are other applications are pending with you. And they said one against Kumaraswamy, and then Shashikala, Chole, Nirani, all these people, three are the BJP's former ministers and Kumaraswamy. But the governor and even Tushar Mehta said there is no application pending. So these people didn't even have the information that he has already disposed them of. In fact, when it's looked like when the delegation went, I think headed by Mr. Shukumar, met the governor, he made it very clear there's nothing left. I already disposed them of. And the subsequent reports say that, he has given permission in the case of Shashikala Jole and others. He has said he has rejected them. So there is no application pending with him. And once when Shukumar came out and the media asked him what happened, well, this is what the governor says. We have to look into it.
Now, all eyes are on the Karnataka High Court as we await the order in this important case. We will keep tracking and bring you all the latest update in this case. Keep watching in SoSouth.